There we go. There we go. All right. There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday Live here on the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. So glad that you're here for our weekly live today. Make sure you drop me a comment in the chat section. Let me know where you are joining us from today. If you're new to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel, welcome. I'm Victoria Marie, owner of Victoria Marie Designs. I am so glad that you are here joining us today. Make sure you smash that like button if you enjoy this live stream. I hope you do. And also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button when you do click the bell. That way you'll be notified each and every time a new video or whenever I go live or whatever's posted here on the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. So, let's say hello to everybody. Hello, hello, Sarah and Debbie and Teresa and Hope and Barb and Sarah. Hello. So glad you're here. Debbie says, so excited, never make the live chat, got done with work early in South Jersey, not far from Philadelphia. Well, thank you for joining us. Sarah's joining from a rainy North Texas. Well, hello, fellow rainy North Texan. Same here. I'm actually enjoying the overcast and the rain and stuff like that. I'm actually enjoying it today. It's very calming, very calming. Hello, Hope, so glad that you're here. Hey, Cindy, what's going on? From the island, hello. And Shayla's here. She says, long time since I've caught a live. That's true. Where have you been? Fall break in Oklahoma, so she's home and scrapping. Well, enjoy your fall break. Coming from us from Oklahoma. Hey, Dee Dee from Missouri. Hello. Hey, Linda, what's going on? So glad that you guys are here. We're going to hang out for just another minute or so and let some more people pop on. We have Hope from Southern California. Hello, Cody from Florida. Hello, Cody. It's nice to see you. So today, we are going to, actually, I didn't plan out this project at all that I'm making today. I just have been wanting to use some of my Felicity Jane goodies, and so I thought, why not do that during our live stream? I had another layout planned, but it's not quite coming together the way that I want it to, so I'm going to play with it a little bit more. I'll either do it live next week or I'll record it, and it'll come out on Friday, so we'll see how it goes. Hello, everyone who's just joined us. I'm so glad. Yes, Carrie, welcome to our staff meeting. For those of you who don't know, this is our hour staff meeting once a week where we all meet. So make sure that you're taking notes, right? You got your spreadsheets up. We're going to be talking numbers. I'm just kidding. Hello, everybody. I am so glad that you are here. Arkansas, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Hello, hello. So, just a quick reminder, the Victoria Marie online virtual crop Crafty Mysteries is going to be starting this weekend on Friday. So if you haven't heard about it, make sure you go to the Victoria Marie blog. The link is down below. When you're on the blog, click on Online Virtual Crops, and you'll see the link where you can register. There are a couple of things that are different with the crops. I think I mentioned the last time I moved from the Mighty Network where I was hosting my crops. It just wasn't working for me. It wasn't working for our community. So I decided, at least for now, to host the crops as a private Facebook group, and registration is now through Eventbrite, which has been very, very easy to use. A lot of people have been reporting that's a lot easier to navigate than trying to figure out how to register for the event on the Mighty Network, the platform that I was using. So if you're interested in the virtual crop, let me tell you, I started these things in 2020 during the start of the pandemic as a way to bring people together as we were all sheltering at home. And it just kind of ended up being a thing. And I'm glad that it is, because we have so many people who participate in these crops pretty much every month since I started them last year. And we just have a blast. There's scrapbook challenges. You have 3 weeks to participate in the challenges, which is great. So you don't have to do all the challenges during the weekend that you participate. We also have live Zoom scrapping chats, which is the highlight of the weekend. We have 5 of those throughout the weekend where you can talk and be around other people from the comfort of your home. And we also have prizes and giveaways. So it's really, really fun. Some of them have been themed. I think most of them have been themed this past year. I'm getting ready to announce something new that's coming to the crops for 2022. So if you haven't already, the best way to keep up with updates and everything that's going on with Victoria Marie Designs is to subscribe to the eNewsletter. And that link is posted in the description as well. So 2 things, subscribe to the eNewsletter. I'm starting to publish on Wednesday and Fridays. It used to be just once a week on Friday, but now I'm going to do it Wednesday and Friday. It'll have some things like reminders and updates, but it'll also have some things related to scrapbooking and scrapbook design. So make sure that you subscribe to that. Number 2, if you're interested in joining us for the crop, it's only $7.99 USD, and you get a full weekend of fun. Make sure you check that out. The information's on the Victoria Marie blog. That is down in the description down below. So make sure you check it out. It starts this Friday on the 15th through Sunday. We're going to have a blast. Come join us if you haven't participated. Drop in the comment section, or in the chat rather, if you've participated in one of my crops over the past year. They're so much fun. I hope you will. I hope you will. Barb says the virtual crops are great. Yay! So glad to hear that. Hey, Sarah from Irving, Texas. Hello, hello. Hey, Emma, what's going on? And Evelyn from Nebraska, and Angie from Tennessee. We've got Gemma from the UK. Hello. So glad that you guys are here. Let me know in the chat section if you participated in one of the crops. Let me know. Oh, I'm going to take my gum out while I'm speaking. They're a lot of fun. So make sure you check out all that information. You have until the 16th to register if you're interested. 16th at 10:30 or 11:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you join us. It's so much fun. Let's see. Cindy says, love the crops. Wearing a cast. Might still join anyways. Oh no, I hope you're healing fast. Goodness. Sarah says, got so many layouts done. We have a lot of people who participate in these crops, and it is a time that they can dedicate every month to getting projects done, and a lot of folks have been able to get their projects done, so that is fantastic. So please do, come join us. We have a lot of fun, very laid back. When you register, you get an automatic email that will give you the information to the crop. It's hosted in a private Facebook group. I don't know if the crops are going to stay on Facebook for the long term, but for now, it's the easiest solution while I'm trying to figure something else out. So bear with me on that, but most folks are familiar with Facebook, so why not? All right, so let's go ahead and dig into today's layout. I'm going to be scrapbooking a photo of my daughter and my wife. Let me actually switch my screen real quick. And I don't have a plan for this layout. I'm just going to go rogue and kind of figure out, what I'm going to do as I am making this layout. But I do know a couple of things. Well, maybe more than a couple of things. Number 1, I want to use my Felicity Jane Mega Kit. If you joined me, probably, I guess it's been over a month, I went live here on the Victoria Marie YouTube channel, and I was talking about taking my Felicity Jane kits. If you subscribe to a scrapbooking kit, then you're probably very familiar with collecting all the kits, but not using the kits. And so I was starting to become a really good collector of collecting Felicity Jane kits, but not necessarily using those kits. And so I decided that I was going to take all of the kits, whatever was remaining of the kits, some of them were unopened, and make myself a mega kit using all of those kits. And if you go to my live stream playlist, you will see the video where I talk about, or the recorded live stream where I talk about and show you how I made this kit. So essentially what I did was I grabbed all of my pattern papers, and some of them were still in 12 by 12, actually majority of them were still 12 by 12, and some of the scraps, and I put those all together in this little envelope here from scrapbook.com. And then I have this wicker container here that I've had for a long time. I probably got it from Tuesday morning or something. And put in whatever embellishments and stuff that I want to keep, including the stamps. And so the idea is that whenever I want to use or do a layout and I want to use my Felicity Jane stuff, then I will reach for my mega kit. Now, when a new kit comes in, I'm challenging myself to use the kit, and whatever's left will go into the mega kit. I have found organizing my branded product, like my Felicity Jane scrapbook kits, or say my Hip Kit Club kits, has helped me to use those products when they're all in one container so I can see what I have. And then also too, if I want to mix and match it with other products from other manufacturers or designers, then I can just grab what I want. It's all organized and I can see clearly what I have. The problem with keeping them in their packaging when they come is that we forget about it and we forget what's in the kits. So if you take it all out, make yourself a mega kit, get yourself a little organizer or something, or use something that you have laying around, make yourself a mega kit, then you can use all of the items that you have in the kit. Hey Cindy, what's going on? Love that you're catching the live. I love that you're catching the live too. Welcome. So today I decided to do a layout. I took a photo of my daughter and my wife one evening. They were just laid up, cuddled. My daughter just came over and cuddled Aubrey. Usually Aubrey likes to join us for the lives, but she's actually teaching right now, so she won't be joining us today. But any event, one night we're just sitting on the couch watching TV, and Corinne comes downstairs and she just gives Maddie a nice big old hug, and it was very, very sweet. So I snapped a photo. If you have a tween in your life, you know how few and far between snuggles can be. As they get to a point where, hey, don't touch me, right? They're their own person. But I like to document these precious moments when they do happen. So this layout's going to be called My Loves, because they are my loves. And this photo just, definitely encapsulates everything that I love about my little family of 3. So, in any event, I'm going to be scrapbooking this photo. This is a 4x6 photo on the vertical. And then I went ahead and did some journaling, and I couldn't decide, because I don't know how I'm going to design this layout, if I wanted to type my journaling on vellum or on white solid cardstock. So we'll see which one of these that I use for this project. So when I get started on a layout, and I don't really have a rhyme or reason, I always start with the paper, right? When it comes to design, I always start with the paper. So I'm going to pull out my Felicity Jane mega pack of pattern paper, and I'm just going to kind of go through and see what I want to use. If the scraps are in sort of a color story that I think will work, then I'll use, the scrap paper. I kind of like this little pattern paper along with this little check kind of gingham pattern paper. That looks nice together. The cool thing about Felicity Jane kits is that the color stories coordinate very well together, so you can mix and match them and get a really good amount of usage out of those kits. Okay, so I'm just going to go through here and see what I have, and I try to use up scraps first. And I have a whole bunch of sort of little straggly pieces here that might go in the recycle bin, but we'll see. Got this yellow piece. I'm just kind of go through and see what will work. And what I'm looking for, what I usually start with, is 3 pieces of pattern paper, and I just kind of put them together in a little collection along with my photo. Okay, so that's an option there. And I'm going to search for 3 more pieces. I don't tend to use the solid cardstock that comes with the kit. Not all the time. Every now and then I do. But it's in my little pack. Then I got some more little scraps here. I'll kind of look at the A and the B sides and see what I have going on. See if I can create something with it. So here's also another option, another combination that I can put with my photo. Okay. If anything, this exercise allows you to kind of see what you have, what you can coordinate, use up those bits and pieces before you cut into a larger spot, a larger piece. So I use this for another layout. I cut sort of these little diagonals out, and I could definitely use that against either another piece of pattern paper or a solid piece of cardstock. I'm usually not wild about using a bunch of pink on a layout, but that's kind of how I would use up that scrap. And then I guess I could add, a photo to that if I wanted to use it. That's a contender too, but I'm not really feeling pink today, so I'm going to save this for something else. I'm going to continue to kind of go through this. Cindy says the closure they have now sliding can hurt the paper. Just my opinion. I didn't know. Did they change the closure on the thing? I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay, and by closure, I think we're referring to, Cindy, this little Scrapbook.com organizer, correct? Right now, well, the one that I have, it kind of folds into an opening here, so I don't know if they changed the closure or not. I haven't checked it out, but that'd be interesting to know. Okay, so I'm going to go through some more of these papers and see what all that I have. I usually try to, with Felicity Jane, utilize a black and white design, because usually that's going to be on the B side. They offer at least 2 of those. There's very floral, so sometimes I'm going to be looking for something else. This is really cute and light. That's nice. I love green. Lots of green. And this particular, and a lot of the collections recently. I really love that pattern, but I'm trying to not use too much pink, so I'm not really feeling that. I'm going for some more muted colors. Lately, the kits have had more muted colors, which I love. This kind of is more springy to me, so I think I'm going to pass on that. I'm kind of liking this. This reminds me of wallpaper. Maybe with the grid. I'm kind of feeling maybe a tone on tone. That might work. A little bit of a tone on tone feel there with those papers. Let me see what else I got going on. I like the white and yellow with the stars. So I think I'm kind of building up to something here. Let me keep going. I'm kind of trying to avoid pink. Okay, those are all, the rest are solid. So I think I might have a winner here with the green polka dot, Swiss dot, the floral. These have little bitty stars on them, and then the black and white grid is bringing that black and white element to the page. Let's see, what else? Is there anything else I might want to... Do I want to place that with the stripe? That kind of seems a little harsh. That black and white stripe with that. Okay, I'm just going to leave that on top and see what can happen. Also, that's pretty cool too. And I could take that out and use that. Okay, well, I'm going to leave them all together as contenders. I think I've settled on the combination. Sarah says, I'm usually a B-side girl, especially if it's mustard yellow on the front. Yeah. So he says, no, they don't. I just think a snap or Velcro closure would be nice. Yeah, I agree. And if you put too many papers in here, the closure thing won't close. And that's kind of my little gripe with that. Okay. So I picked out my papers. That's usually where I start when I'm not quite sure what I want to do on a layout. I'm going to leave some of these loosey papers here to the top because I might cut into those like for photo mat or something. Like I might use that for a photo mat. And then maybe bring in some yellow. Okay. So I'm going to set these to the side. We've got some papers picked out. Once I kind of have an idea of what my color story is going to be, and my color story is dictated by the papers I'm using today, I also printed this photo in black and white so that when I'm not quite sure how I want to design a layout, if I print my photos in black and white, then that's one less thing I have to worry about in terms of what kind of colors I'm using and trying to coordinate colors with the photo. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Okay? So, now the question is how do I want to design this layout? And when in doubt, when I'm not quite sure, I just scrap lift myself. So there is a layout that I made recently that has a lot of white space around it. If you're a Victoria Marie patron, then you'll see the process video for that particular layout on Friday. But I did post a picture of it on my Instagram, and there is, my photos and everything are centered in the middle. And then there's a bunch of white space, so empty space that is, around the photo and all the other elements. So I think I'm going to do that because I'm kind of feeling with one photo, I kind of want to do some layering and some tucking of embellishments and that type of thing. So let's move the photo out the way. Let's decide what's going to be the base for this layout. I'm kind of leaning toward making this the base so that the photo doesn't get lost on the layout. I had thought about making this one, but the photo still kind of gets lost. Even if I did like maybe a white border, these colors, the filter that I use on this photo is reading a little bit more gray, like this gray-green. So I think what I want to do is just keep it brightened up just a bit. So let's start with that. Also, a little insider tip, I try not to overthink this. Hey, Becky, what's going on, sis? Long time no hear from. Hello, Becky. I'm so glad that you joined us today. We're going to have to catch up real soon, friend. Have to catch up real soon. If I haven't said hello to you, hello, hello. Hi, Mary, all the way from San Antonio. We got a lot of Texas people here today. Alrighty. So I'm thinking I'm going to use this as the background. Now, the next thing I'm wanting to know, or the next thing I'm thinking about, rather, is, do I want to use this pattern paper in its entirety, or do I want to break it up with, say, a block of pattern paper? And that's kind of like where I'm thinking maybe this pattern paper may come in handy, just to sort of layer things up a little bit behind that photo. So I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and use this. I'm going to cut it to 6 by 12 to start out with. So let me take the branding strip off. By the way, this pattern paper is from the Crystal kit from Felicity Jane, and then the stars, this one is from the Millie kit. I don't know if these things are still available, so I left a link in the description box. If you want to check it out, by all means, you can see if they still have these particular kits available. So I kind of like the way this breaks up that pattern paper just a little bit in the background. And then I can put this here so I can have sort of best of both worlds there. Do I want something to cover the joint here? I don't know. I'll think about that. Okay, so next up, let me find some white cardstock because I do want to put a white border around my photo to make that kind of stand out just a little bit. Yes, it's been too long. Absolutely. I'm so glad that you're here. By the way, guys, if you have not checked out Becky Adams, of course, she's been a long time in the scrapbook industry. I know a lot of you are familiar with her. If you haven't checked her out, make sure you go to Becky's YouTube channel, check out her videos. I am constantly inspired by Becky's designs. Absolutely love them. Dear friend, make sure you go check out her YouTube channel, okay? It's important that we support makers in this community, right? So make sure you go check out her channel. I'm going to go ahead and add some white cardstock to the back of this to give it a white border. I could have printed it with a white border, but I wasn't thinking. So there we go. Let's trim that out. How many of you use more than one trimmer on a scrapbook project? I certainly do. I have to have my Tim Holtz guillotine trimmer. Oh, I trimmed that a little bit too close. And I have to have my Fiskars. Okay, let's take two. I'm going to do this again because I trimmed a little bit too close. I use my guillotine trimmer whenever I'm needing like a really close precision cut, which I didn't do too well with this photo. There we go. That's better. And then, of course, I use my larger trimmer when I'm needing to trim up larger pieces of paper. Okay. So I keep both of these right in my craft island. Now, you know what I'm going to do next, right? You know, I'm going to pop it up with some foam. Let's pop, pop, pop it up. Maybe I'll make up a song. Sarah says, guilty. Love you too, friend. Love you, Becky. Cindy says, me. Hope says, I only use one trimmer, but intrigued about why more is needed. Well, Hope, it depends on the project that you're working on. I have two, mainly because sometimes there's projects and things that you want to do that you need more of a precision cut. And so this is where a really cool, sharp guillotine trimmer comes in handy. This is one from Tim Holtz. This is my favorite. There's others on the market, but this one just happens to be my favorite. It has a very, very sharp blade, and it gives you the nice slick cut if you're needing to do, especially like a thin cut of something, just to edge up something. It's perfect for that. It's also perfect for trimming photos and that type of thing. If I am trimming out like my larger pieces of paper, then I'm going to go to my old standby Fiskars. Now you can do all of that with the Fiskars, but what I found is that sometimes these larger trimmers, the blades aren't as sharp as like a guillotine trimmer. So I use one for precision, one for sort of my regular general cutting. So that's why I use two trimmers. Also, I have found, since I do this professionally, it's good to have more than one around because I make a lot of projects throughout the week. And so I need to make sure that I have multiple tools available to me in order to do the projects that I do. Okay, so I'm going to pop this up on some foam strips. This is from scrapbook.com. You guys have seen me use this many, many times. That's going to give us a little bit of dimension on the page. Now, let's go back to the background. I'm going to break this up a little bit using some pattern paper. If you start out with just one pattern paper and you put your photo down and you're like, that just doesn't seem like it's enough, then add a layer, right? So I could put it here and then added my photo. That actually looks kind of nice, right? I can put it here on the horizontal. I can move it to the edge and then have that kind of cut into the photo just a little bit, okay? And I can also put it on top or on the bottom. So lots of ways you can orientate that, but it gives you that extra little oomph on your layout. Okay, next, let's go ahead and start making some decisions. What I'm thinking is I want to put my photo kind of in the center. This is the only photo that I have of them. I'm a single page layout. I don't mind how many photos I use on a page. Sometimes I use one. Sometimes I use like a gajillion photos. It doesn't really matter to me. As long as I have, to me, you use the number of photos that you feel are great to tell the story. Okay, so where did that journaling go? Here it is. So before I go any further, I want to make sure that I have room for a title in my journaling. So I think I'm going to move this up just a little bit. And I think I'm going to keep everything somewhat centered here on the page, and then put my title here and then my journaling right here. So the question is do I want to use white or do I want to use the vellum? And I think what I'm going to do is use white. Okay, so I'm going to bring out my guillotine trimmer again to get that precision cut that I need and cut this out. Little trick I learned from Kathy Zilski, who used to do scrapbooking stuff. She now does exclusively card making. On your trimmer, if you move the element that you want to trim out, like say for instance your journaling, to the edge here of your guide, then that will help you to get a straight border around the element that you want to trim out. Okay? This is a particularly helpful tip if you're a card maker and you're trying to cut out those pesky little sentiment strips. If you bring it right up, that sentiment right up to the border, right up to that cutting guide, and then trim it, then you'll get a nice border around your element versus trying to figure out how to make it straight. That is a little tip that I learned from Kathy Zilski not too long ago. And I'm like, that's brilliant, because I have a hard time trimming out sentiment strips for the cards that I make. Hey, Harriet, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. So glad that you're here. Having gutters on the countertops makes me get up from my desk and cut something. Yeah, it keeps you moving around, right? Cindy says she has one of each, a guillotine and a Fiskars trimmer on each counter. Yeah. Cindy says she uses a smaller trimmer for photos. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So, photo. Bam. Journaling. Yes, ma'am. Right there. And then I can put my title, my loves, is going to go right here. And so now I need to figure out what font I'm going to use for that. But before I do that, I want to add some little doodly-doos behind the photo. So, Felicity Jane kits come with pocket cards. And usually I have lots and lots and lots of pocket cards. And so I want to try to incorporate pocket cards as a layering element on this layout behind my photo. That is one of the ways that I use pocket cards on a scrapbook page. We have so many of them, you might as well just use them up. I'm going to move this other paper out the way because I will probably come back to that here in just a few. Okay, so I'm also going to mount my photo on another piece of pattern paper here in a second, but I kind of have an idea of where this is going. Okay, so that's a good start. Little tip, how many of you purchase chewing gum that comes in these little containers like this? Look at that. Isn't that cool? I'm always looking for something to store my stuff in. So I like, hold on just a second. My favorite type of gum that I chew is Wrigley's Extra. And it comes in these plastic containers. Why throw them out when you can just store your 3x4 pocket cards in them? And so I was just getting ready to toss out these packages one day, and I'm like, I wonder if my 3x4 pocket card will fit in there. And I just grabbed a stack and put them in there, and I'm like, oh my God, how perfect is that? You can then take your pocket cards with you to a crop or, to your living room if you're out there doing something, and you can store them in here, store them by theme or whatnot. Cool, right? So what a way to upcycle packaging, right? Because otherwise we would just throw this away. It shouldn't be single-use plastics. We can use it for something else. So look at me go and saving the environment. I think I just single-handedly saved the environment, guys. I think I just did. So if you're like me and you purchase products that come in like these hard shell type plastics or other containers, think of a way that you can use them in a different way to store your stuff. It just so happens that these Wrigley's extra packaging is shaped the way that it is, that it can hold 3x4 pocket cards. You can also put like stickers in it and all kinds of stuff. It's, it's a whole thing. So anyway, I thought it was pretty clever when I figured that out. So what I want to do is pick out some 3x4 pocket cards that are going to serve as a layer. If you don't have a ton of pattern paper that you're working with, get these pocket cards, folks. You probably have like 10 million of them, so you might as well just grab them and use them. So I'm just going to pick out a couple that I think will work just to layer, to add just a little bit of layer and dimension behind my photo. It just started to pick up raining again. Those of you who are in the North Texas area, we are getting it again, my friends. Okay, so I'm just going to go through real quickly. I think I like that. Also, you can look for elements like, cutting out elements in your pocket cards too, like good things take time, whatever. Hearts. Okay. And then also another thing about pocket cards, using them on your scrapbook layouts, is that they have smaller patterns. So doing things like layers or maybe even mounting a photo on top is fantastic. And that way you don't have to cut into a big piece of pattern paper. Alrighty. So I'm just going to go through this and see what I have real quickly and just pick out a few that might work well, potentially, for layering. I also like looking for stuff that has these little titles on it, like today's win can be easily something that you tuck to the side of a photo for interest, right? All right, let's continue on. That might work. Another thing, details, right? You can cut that out, use that as a die cut. Let's continue on with this just real quickly. Just trying to see what I got here. I like using things like lists as well. So not only can you journal on them, but you can use them for details on your scrapbook page. So this is something that's really cool that you can then take and put on the side of your photo or something just to add like a cool little element like that. Okay. How many of you have like tons of pocket cards, right? Tons and tons and tons of pocket cards. Let me know in the chat if you have lots of pocket cards that you probably need to use up. Yeah, you probably need to use them. We all need to use our stuff. We buy it, we use it. Consume, create. All right, Cindy says, guillotine trimmer question. Do you find that pushing the paper into the top edge of the trimmer makes the paper a bit crooked? Maybe I'm pushing the paper too hard. It could be that you're applying a little bit too much pressure to the paper at the top. And so what you want to do is just make sure that that paper is even Stevens at the top, that it's touching that guide. Hold on to this mechanism here. Hold on to your paper real nice and tight and then cut your paper. Because if you're not holding on to it, that's what this guide is for. If you're not holding on to it, then your paper is going to shift, okay? So just a little bit of pressure, just make sure that it's nice and tight here. Hold on to the paper and then trim, and that's what's going to keep your paper straight. Good question. Good question. Alrighty. Pocket cards, lots of pocket cards. We all have them, right? Okay, so I'm just going to do one more little flippy through here. That's a cool one. That'd be great to embellish. And I'm just finding stuff that goes with the color story of my layout. Here's a fun little element. If you didn't want to use it as a pocket card, you can cut that out. That's one that could be used. Okay, so I got about 4 of these bad boys. I think I'm okay with what I selected. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to put my pocket cards back in my handy dandy pocket card storage that I created using gum packaging. And I purposely put these in my kit so that I use them. All right, let's go ahead and make some decisions here. Let's go ahead and do some, well, actually commit. So I'm just going to put this pattern paper down. Ooh, it is really raining here, folks. It is coming down. I love a nice rainy day. It is so relaxing. I'm going to take a break after this live to eat a little bit of a late lunch and listen to the rain. And as I take a break, okay, photo's going to go here, journaling's going to go there. So let's look and see, what can I do with this? I can definitely add some layering to this in some way. I can also, you know what I can do? Let's break out some tools. Let's break out some tools, why not? Where, oh where, in my tools, I'm going to grab my angle punch. This is a Crocodile by We Are Memory Keepers. They came out with a whole bunch of different styles of Crocodiles last year. There's several of them. This one has an angle edge to it, which is great because then you can make your own tags with it, which is awesome. There's so many tools that you can make tags with, or you can just simply cut it with your hand. I mean, that's, you know, completely up to you. So you just take it, and now you have an angle. Now we have an angle, and then I'm going to punch a little hole in here. I'm going to make a tag. I also have a tag enforcer, like a hole enforcer punch that I'm going to use. So let's just make some tags here, because why not? And then I can use that as a layering element on my scrapbook page. These are the types of tools that you have in your arsenal, right? Break them out, use them up. Why not? Look how fun that is. Now, that angle can be used for a lot of different designs, but how cool it is, you can make your own little tags with that punch. And then the other side's a photo style punch. So using the tools, using all the tools. Okay, let me find my hole enforcer punch real quick. Hang out, talks among yourselves. Here we go. All right, now I'm back. That didn't take too long. Okay, so now I'm gonna do a little enforcer around those holes. And I'm going to grab a little piece of scrap paper. There we go. This is another tool. We Are Memory Keepers. Love it. You gotta like give it a little pressure, this one, because it acts up sometimes. There we go. So I'm just going to punch those out, and then you can make your own little tags custom to your project. Can I please send some of the rain to California? Absolutely. I know there's parts of California that definitely need rain, for sure. We will send all the rain to you guys. Okay, so, and I hope those of you who are in the affected areas are staying safe as possible. There are those enforcers. I'm going to use some Barely Art Precision Glue to add a little bit of adhesive to this. The cool thing about using your tools is that you can get a lot of mileage out of the stuff you already have on hand. And I keep these things handy, close to me, so I don't forget them, right? And the more you use them, the more you'll reference them whenever you are making a layout. You know, when's the last time you used a punch? Yeah, got to use up those pocket cards for sure. For sure. Okay. So I'm just going to put that here. Got me some little tags going on out of those 3x4 pocket cards. I'm going to put my little thing back in there. Okay, we are cooking with fire. Alrighty, I'm going to move some of the stuff out the way. Let's bring these back. And I can like do a little dooley-doo like this if I wanted to. Add just a little layer of tags underneath this. Just kind of figuring out how I want to mix that up. I can add one over here. Whoa, photo, stay there. There we go. Just using up what I have. No biggie. Getting creative. And then I can add a little something over here too. I'm going to sort of move that right there. I'm liking that. Yes. All right. We have no commitment issues here, Victoria Marie Designs. So let's go ahead and tack these down because I'm really liking how this is looking. Really liking. So I'm just going to do a little bit of this here. Now, you might be asking, Victoria, are you going to add some ribbon? Probably not. I probably won't. But if you've been with me for a while, you'll probably see me pull all that up to add some twine later, but I don't. It's usually a game time decision. Okay. So let's do this one. Great way to use up those pocket cards, my friends. Make something out of them. This could be anything else that you want it to be. You can make yourself some die cuts, right? Using those tools that you have. They can be photo mats. They can be a lot of different things. The point is just to get it used up. Put it on a layout. It's either stuck in our stash or it's on a layout, and I'd rather for it to be on a layout so I can look at it. Okay, so that looks great. Let's go ahead and put the photo down. Let's commit. No commitment issues here, folks. Let's just do it. All right. And I'm just going to stick this down like so. There we go. Yeah, I love it. Barb says, loving how the layout's looking. Thank you. I'm seeing that you guys love that idea. Wonderful. Hello, Cindy B. Never too late, my friend. Cindy says, we should trade some pocket cards. I have Christmas pocket cards that I already used on, that you've used on layouts. We can do a pocket card swap. Okay, so now that the base of the layout is done, and mind you, this is a design that I have done many, many times. And so if it's like my first layout of the day, or I don't quite have a plan in mind for a layout, then I will default to those tried and true layout formats that yield me a beautiful scrapbook page. And there's nothing wrong with that, with going back to something that you're comfortable with, something that you're familiar with, particularly if you're just kind of getting going on your scrapbooking a little bit. Haven't scrapbooked in a while, you want to do a little something. It's okay to lean on those sort of default designs, and that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so now I have these tags in place that I made for my 3x4 pocket cards. These are going to serve as anchors for embellishments. So I think the next logical thing I need to do before I go there is I'm going to break out my embellishments, and I am going to go through this. Let me clear my little space off. I mess it up to clean it up, folks. That's how I roll. You mess it up to clean it up. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put this pattern paper behind my photo. It's already tacked down. It is what it is. I forgot to do that. I pulled out all those other pattern papers. I was going to do something layered up, and I totally forgot about it. But that's okay. We're going to move on. So I think what I'm going to do next is look through my little stash, and I'm going to find some letter fonts that I can use for my title to see if it's going to work on this page. This one's by far my favorite of the Felicity Jane letter fonts that were available. I don't even know if this one's still available. It's called Jamie. Absolutely love it. This is a second favorite one of mine. This one's called Crystal. That one has a little bit of gold in it. That one has pink, that's blue, a little bit of, no, don't want that. This one's another one of my favorite. This is called Amanda, and it's a thinner one. Then I have this bright kind of orangey one that I don't think I want to use. I think that would just fall right into it. So I'm going to see what I can work with what I have available to me. And you know what? If it doesn't work, it's not like I have a shortage of letter stickers at all. We all know this. I have lots and lots and lots of letter stickers in my stash. Okay. Let me clear some things out. Are you a mess it up to clean it up type of scrapper? Let me know in the chat. I have to clean as I go. Otherwise, I can't function. Okay, so I think what I want to do is do 2 font stickers. I think I want to spell out like my and then loves right here. And maybe I'll use this Taylor font for loves, and then one of these black fonts for the word my. I'm trying to decide. Or maybe I'll just use the black font altogether. So let me test something out here. Or I may not use any of these fonts. I may pick out something else. Who knows? So let me just, I'm going to very carefully release this from the paper and see if that's something that I want to use. I'm just going to use that as a example. Then I think I'm going to go with the crystal letter puffy stickers. Now I think the problem I'm going to have with this is that the black puffy is a little bit shorter than the white. I might have to have a play on the design here. So let's do this. I'm kind of thinking as I'm going here. I thought I would put them in one straight line, but I think I'm going to do something different. So maybe I'll put my, like this. This is Victoria designing in the rough, my friends. Okay, so there's that. And then maybe I'll do my loves. Okay, the problem with these letters is that they are coming off their backing. That's okay. I think I'll do like that. Let me grab a V. You know what? Sometimes it doesn't come together until it comes together. So he says, that's why I have 3 trimmers. The little one ends up on my lap. Patty says she's a clean as you go type of gal. Me too. Love the idea. I have pocket card multiples that I love to swap. You know what? I might have to bring that up in the Victoria Marie Facebook group to see if people would be interested in swapping pocket cards. Kind of like swapping baseball cards, right? Okay. So I'm thinking I will do something like this. And kind of drop down the word loves. Don't think I like that. I think I kind of like it all on one line. And then just bring this down. I don't think I like that either. Okay, so let me try something else. I think that gold is just throwing it off as much as I want to use it. I think I'm just going to go straight up black, yo. I think I am. Oh, no. Do I not have all the letters I need? Okay, let's just use a 0 for the O. Let's just improvise. We're just going to improvise. I didn't have an O, so we're going to use a 0 because who knows? Who cares? No one's going to look at this layout and go, oh my God, girl, you use a 0 for an O. They're not going to do that. Okay, I think I'm going to stick with the black. I was trying to do 2 different font stickers because you know how I roll, but I think I'm just going to stick with the black because it's just easier for me to do that right now. The gold was a good idea, but I think if the letters were of the same height, it would work, and they're not because the black is a little bit shorter than the white letters. So I'm just going to try to put these back on the page as best as I can. Some of them just came off their cardstock backing, and others of them are doing whatever they're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to use the crystal font to spell out my loves, and then I'm going to put the journaling there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is start embellishing, because that's how I roll. Okay. If you're enjoying this live, make sure you give it a thumbs up. That lets YouTube know that you like this type of thing. Definitely helps the channel. Okay. Becky says, letter stickers are my life. Me too. I love and hoard them too, friend. That's why I have so many. And then I'll be working on a project. I'm like, I have no letters to go with this project. That's a lie. I have 1,000,001 letters to go with all the projects that I make. Alrighty, so let me get these lined up as best as I can. I don't have an eye for straight, so it is what it is. And I guess I could pull out a ruler, but you know, who has time for that? Okay. So I'm just gonna line these up. I'm gonna use a 0 for an O because does it really matter at the end of the day? Let's get this going, and if I need to make some adjustments later to this, I will. It's not a biggie. It's not a huge biggie deal. I used to be very particular about my titles and such and getting things lined up in a specific way, and then I just kind of fell out of that habit. Sometimes things may irk me just a little bit, but I don't make it a huge deal. I'm going to move these up just slightly. Just slightly. There we go. I love this font so much. It's my favorite. Okay. Let's put the journaling down. That one's called Crystal by Felicity Jane. Now, the cool thing about making a mega kit is that you can feel really darn good about using up your stuff. Because, I mean, sometimes we kind of feel a little guilty, you know, not using the product that we buy. Okay, so let's embellish. I am just going to grab an assortment of different things that may or may not work, but, you know, we're just going to see. I got these little amber chipboard, these little ampersands. Let's get a little tray out here. And let's just have a play and see what we can come up with. It may stick, it may not, but, you know, it's all good. I think I'm going to use one of these somewhere. Just going to figure out some little clusters. Let's see what all I have available to me. I'm going to pick out elements that coordinate with the color story of my layout. And these are all from various collections. So I have the, this is from the Grace collection. These were a set of tabs. And they already have, some of them have some stitching on them, which is really fun, that stitch detail. And then some of them, or not some of them, all of them have double-sided adhesive, which makes it really fun to use. I need some place to put my date, so maybe that's going to go there. I've been getting better at putting the dates on my layouts, believe it or not. I've been getting a lot better. I'm just going to dig through these embellishments and find some things that I think might work. This technique forces you to be creative, right? It forces you to be creative with what you have and to use up your stuff. Let's kind of start there. How about that? So I have a whole bunch of die cuts that I need to use. Here's a felt flower. I don't think I'm going to use that. Well, maybe. Okay, let's kind of start with that and see what we got here. So I know I want to definitely use an ampersand. And what I'm doing, folks, is I'm leaving a whole bunch of white space around the center portion of the layout. Hey, Audrey, what's going on? Yes, figuring out titles is the hardest part. You are absolutely right, Cody. Absolutely right. It can be the hardest part. So I'm leaving some white space around here, right? I don't feel like I have to like invade this space outside of my photo. I can also put that there. I want to use this speech bubble so bad. This just might be a little bit too much in the scale. Alrighty. Let's see. So I got my little tab that I know I'm definitely wanting to use. Okay. And I have some other little embellishments. This is from the Cocoa collection. Let me actually move these over here so I can see what I'm working with here. I think this was a winter type collection, I believe. So I'm just gonna dig through here and see what I have. Now, I am, for those of you who caught this late, I'm kind of scrap lifting myself right now. I made a layout similar to this for my patrons. And so I really like the way it came out. This is a go-to design for me, doing a bunch of layering in the center of the layout and leaving some white space. I'm liking how this is coming along, kind of repeating that ampersand situation. Okay, I'm liking that. This is looking good. Do I feel like, should this be anchored on a label? Let's see. Maybe. Nope, that doesn't need it. It doesn't need it. It just simply doesn't. I'm just going to make a little cluster there. I'm liking this, folks. Okay, so those are elements from the Cocoa die cuts. So I like that. Let's see what else we have. I'm using my, for those of you who just joined, I'm using my Felicity Jane Mega Kit that I put together. And you can actually watch the replay of me doing that if you go to my, playlist for my live streams. You can actually see the replay of that. Okay, so next up, let's see what else I've got. I'm just going to dig through here real quickly. This was from the Gabby kit. And I'm just going to see what I have. I'm going to do like a flower here. Maybe bring that out. I don't know how that's going to go, but I kind of feel like there needs to be something there. Since I have a floral here, I can do a floral here. And that can be the anchor for that little house. Okay. So I'm just kind of picking and choosing some stuff. This is what I mean by Felicity Jane kits all working well together. This is coming out very nice. I might not need much more. This pattern paper is doing a lot of the work for me, so I might not need much more for this. I have some felt hearts, but I don't think those are going to work. Let me see. I'm checking to see if I have anything else I want to use. I have some wood veneer. I hope that, by the way, as I'm looking through my stuff, I hope that this inspires you to dig into those, into your stash, and to find elements from your kits and stuff, put it all together, make a mega kit, so that you can use it, right? I totally forgot that I had some stamps, too, that I could use. Okay. Some little buttons. Just digging through some more little elements. Got some little puffy elements here. Now I'm going to move on to, I'm going to move on now to adding the finishing touches to this project. So let's go ahead and commit. So what I want to do is I'm going to lay this floral piece down. Of course I would run out of adhesive. Lordy, lordy. It always happens when you're, when you're having fun. Your adhesive runs out. Okay. No shortage of that. Let's just pop another one in and keep it moving. Here we go. Now let's take that out. There we go. Okay. So I was adhering this little piece down. That's going to be an anchor. I'm also going to use this tab. Oh, it already has adhesive on it. I cut off half of it and used it on another project, so I'm going to use the other half. And this is where I'm going to put my date. I'm just going to stamp a date there using my roller date stamp from Felicity Jane. And then I have my ampersand. I'm just going to add some there. These chipboard ampersands don't have adhesive on them, so you have to add some to it. I'm just going to layer that right on top of my flower that's serving as my anchor. Okay, let me move these guys out the way. I need white space in my working area. Okay, so now let's get these guys going. I'm just going to stick this flower piece like right here. That's going to serve as an anchor for my little house. And I'm just, again, pulling elements from different kits, coordinating them, making them work. Then I got another little chipboard ampersand just to bring some continuity to the one that I already have on the page. It's these small details that just make your layouts pop. And the more that you do this, you spend some time with working through some of these design elements, the more proficient you will become. And so when you are in a situation where you're just kind of making a layout, like me, I did not plan this, then you can lean on those different techniques, okay? Becky says, I scrap lift myself all the time. It's the best way to get my creative juices flowing. Exactly, exactly. And also, if usually, and I always say this, my first layout is usually not my best layout. And so if I can start my first project of the day doing a design that I'm familiar with, then it just helps. It helps me to create and to think outside of the box with other projects that I'm working on. Okay, so I think I want to use this word that says smile. And just kind of tuck that there. Bring in a circular element there. So that's looking pretty darn nifty. Okay. And looking through my little embellishments now, I'm just finishing it up here. Trying to decide if I want to use a word sticker. These are little puffy stickers. Trying to decide how I want to use those in some way. Oh, that's a little bit crowded. Maybe I'll put that there. That word says today. And there's a little circular charm here. I love these little charms. This is from the Denise kit. And I've been slowly using them because honestly, I've just been kind of hoarding them. I've been hoarding them. I'm telling you not to hoard, but then meanwhile I'm hoarding. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that there. There's a circular element here and then here. So I wanted a little bit of continuity there. When you're working with your embellishments, it doesn't have to, they don't all have to be the same across your clusters. They can be different. But they can be the same in terms of shape and whatnot, but they don't have to necessarily be the same in terms of color or style. Lastly, where did those little stickers go? That I wanted to use. Where did they go? Well, maybe I didn't pull them out. Oh, here we go. I like these little black gingham puffy hearts. Adorable. So this will, oh, I think I may already have it open on the side. So this is going to be the last little bit, and then we're going to be done, folks. Then this project's going to be done. Last little bit. I think I'm going to put that there. And then maybe a little, nope, don't like that green. Maybe one over here. And with that, my friends, we are done. The only other thing that I have to do is put a date on this, and I don't remember what day this was taken, so I'm going to have to look at that. And I'll post a picture on my Instagram. By the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you do, because I share pretty much every day on Instagram. So there we go. 12 by 12 layout using elements from my Felicity Jane Mega Kit that I made a couple of months ago. Again, you can watch the recorded replay of that. Just go to my YouTube live stream playlist here on the channel, and you can easily find that recording and take a look at that. I'm just going to put these things back where they belong. Here's another cool thing about having a kit is that then you can just put everything back in its little place, right? In its organizer. Nice and neat, right? You don't have to worry about shoving it right back into one of those large little pockets that they come in, or the plastic bags that they come in. But here we go. Scrapbook kit 12 by 12 using items from my Felicity Jane kits. Love how this all comes together. I first started out with the background. I had no rhyme or reason for this other than I want to scrap lift myself. That's kind of where I was working from. So I created the background, kind of divided that pattern paper using 2 different pattern papers, and then I created a bunch of white space around the elements, the focal point elements, the photo, also added in some tags and stuff to kind of fill that out and layer, created some embellishment clusters, added my title and journaling. Very, very easy layout that you can pull together. This is a go-to design for me, whether I'm using one photos or multiple photos. I absolutely love the way that this came out. And I love the colors. I don't know about you, but green has just been on my radar. I don't know what it is. I just seem to be gravitating towards green these days. And so I'm glad that I isolated those colors and limiting the color selection. It also was very helpful in the fact that I printed my photo in black and white too. So that gave me some leeway in terms of the colors that I used for this layout. So I'm going to add the date to this. I'm going to post some pictures on my Instagram this afternoon, so make sure that you check that out. I'll also post some pictures in the Victoria Marie Facebook group and in the Facebook on my Facebook business page. So a couple of things before we go. Number one, we do have the Victoria Marie Crafty Mysteries online virtual crop this weekend. If you want to learn more, go to the Victoria Marie blog. That link is down in the description. Number two, don't forget to sign up for my e-newsletter. It's going to be coming out twice a week, once on Wednesday, once on Friday. There's going to be some creative inspiration, some tips, as well as news and updates of what's going on with Victoria Marie Designs. Any person that you follow, any designer that you follow or whatnot, make sure if they have an e-newsletter, sign up for it, because that's the best way to get information from that designer. Also, if you are new to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel, please be sure to subscribe. We would love to have you in this community. Join the private Facebook group. I think the link is down in the description box. I need to check that. But join the Facebook community. If not, I'll make sure to pop that after this live so you can have that. We have a lot of fun there. It's zero drama. We just opened it back up. Been around since 2014, so make sure you come and hang out with us. And also, don't forget to give this live a thumbs up if you enjoyed what you viewed today. We do this every Wednesday for the most part. So make sure you come check us out. Next week, I'll have a brand new project for you, 2:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Let me go to the chat real quick. Cindy says, the bottom drawer of my cabinet is chock full with alphas, and I'm cleaning up and finding more. More alphas. So you definitely got to challenge yourself to use it up. Thank you for the compliments on this layout. Thank you so much. Sarah says, having a few go-tos is helpful, especially when your mojo is low. I agree. I agree. All right, folks, have a good one, and I will see you in the next live stream next Wednesday. Bye.